Here's the Deal is brought to you by VEBS, Veteran Essential Business Services. We are your business area support. We got your six. Hey everybody, this is Chris Flowers, your host of Here's the Deal. Hope everybody had a great week last week. We got episode 4 out last week on our normal channels. You can go back and listen to that. Like I said, episode 3 ran into some problems with just strictly on the Spotify just because I put the Five Finger Death Punch song on there in the beginning. But last week's episode went out on this normal channel, so you can go back and catch that. This is episode 5 so far of Here's the Deal. And well, first of all, it's elections are coming up, November 3rd. So everybody, like I said, you have a very special gift living in this country. You get to go vote, and it's essential. So I just recommend that everybody actually get out there and go vote. Want to throw that out there, first and foremost. Obviously, a lot of people that are listening to this are veterans, so um, I don't have to express to my normal listeners here how important it is and everything that we fought for, so that way people have the right and the liberty to go out and do those kind of things. So I'm kind of preaching to the choir on that one. But for those of you who are not veterans, please exercise your liberties here in this country by going out and voting. But here on episode 5, I wanted to get into something that, again, had another deal this week come up, and it's just everybody has this microwave mentality, in business, especially in business. It's like everything needs to be immediate gratification. There's no, you gotta, just like anything else, you gotta put in the work especially when you're starting in the business. I know some of us here were old enough to remember, Saturday morning cartoons. Okay, for those of you that aren't, then, you know, you're spoiled and you suck. But I'm just kidding. But Saturday morning cartoons, when you were a kid, I mean, you waited all week for this thing, man. I mean, you were planning on it. You got up early, you got your cereal, you know, getting up early. You had to watch your Bugs Bunny, you had to watch Spider Man. And nowadays, like, everything's like Disney Plus, Cartoon Network. I mean, hell, you can go back and like go watch past episodes, you know, like from past seasons and everything like that, and binge watch them. Where if you missed a Saturday morning episode back in the day, you missed it, man. It was done. You had to wait. I mean, you didn't even get to like rewatch it next week. I mean, that thing was in the ethos, man. It was like you're never going to see it again. Now you can go back and watch all these different ones, but that's the thing. And, if you missed it, it was over. Again, a lot of people, they think business operates the same way. They're not pre-planning. They just expect the sales to come in, or they expect the bank to lend them money in like 5 minutes. And in business, you gotta have like that Saturday morning cartoon mentality. You need to want it. You gotta plan for it. You gotta get up early. You gotta make it happen. Okay. And how does this translate? How does this translate into business? Everybody's kind of thinking it's like, because everybody hates doing paperwork. Everybody hates process. Okay. But unfortunately, you gotta have this. You gotta understand something. It's either pay me now or pay me later. But you're gonna pay me. Okay. You're gonna have to put in this work sooner or later. So better to do it now rather than down the road, and you're behind the 8 ball and you're behind on time, and you get this big balloon payment coming up and all this other stuff. It starts getting ugly. You know what I mean? Now, this is the beauty of an SBA loan. For those of you that aren't aware of SBA loans, you can do an SBA 7A loan pre-revenue. Okay, so you haven't even started the business; it's day zero. You've not earned a nickel yet, but you can still obtain SBA financing even though you haven't earned a nickel yet. Okay, or you can obtain SBA financing even when, like, say, you're well into your business cycle. Uh, Again, this is kind of the beauty of the program. It's a way for you to obtain bank capital without having to bootstrap 100% of the deal, where you start bringing in partners and investors. You're in bed with them for like the rest of your life, man. I mean? They're getting rich off of you, and they're never you're never going to be able to buy them out, especially if you're doing really, really well. I mean, you're not going to want to, you're not going to want to get bought out. So you're in bed with these guys forever. Now, the fallback, to the SBA program is it's going to take time. Okay, there's paperwork involved. It's a process. Everybody hates paperwork. Everybody hates the process. But again, it's a government-backed loan. What do you expect? You gotta expect to put in the work. Now, as we talked about in episode one, on Here's the Deal. Okay, if you approach this thing with teamwork, you work with your bank, you work with your CPA. Okay, you can take a lot of this work off of your hands, or you can delegate a lot of this to your banker and your CPA. We can do stuff behind the scenes while you're still out doing day to day process, doing what you do, making your product or providing your service. Let us handle that kind of number crunching on the back end. But you are going to have to get involved in this thing. Okay, we're not going to just do everything for you. Okay, so you definitely have to be engaged. But a lot of the numbers crunching, your banker like myself or your CPA, we can't take a lot of that work off your hands. Okay, so these are the things that you have to again you have to kind of pre-plan for. And I think one of the most important things that you got to think about is that quick money is expensive. Okay, a lot of people. I just had another deal come up this week. It was such a good business, but they got in bed with what's called a merchant card lender. Okay, now for those of you who aren't aware of what this process is, so obviously a lot, 99% of businesses they take debit cards and credit cards. Okay, so you have your machine, you have your dashboard on your laptop or whatever, and you take debit cards, credit cards, and things like that. Now, what they do is these merchant card lenders, they lend you money based off your receivables. Okay, off of your merchant processing. Okay, they take a small. They'll say, "Oh, it's like 3% a day," or that's 3% a day. Okay, it's really really expensive money. Okay, and this is a road you absolutely do not want to go down. All right, I mean, I don't care. I mean, if you're at this point, again, you weren't pre-planning, you were just you weren't being proactive, you're being reactive at this point, and you didn't plan properly with your banker and your CPA. But the good news is that if you are at this point, if you are business right now, you hit a heavy growth cycle. You need cash. You need it right now. And these guys are like, oh, of course, we can lend you the money. We can give you the money tomorrow. Oh, great. It's quick money. You have to fill out a bunch of paperwork. No, no, no. Just send us your merchant statements. Okay. It's easy. It's quick. But again, it's like getting hooked on heroin. Okay. You take that one shot. You're chasing the dragon on this thing, and you're hooked. Okay. And they're into you forever until you work with your banker and you get this thing worked out and we can do a debt consolidation on it. Again, it's got to be the most horrible thing I've seen in business. I should be illegal. Like, I can't stand it. It's one of my biggest pet peeves. I try to get everybody educated on this particular point. Again, if you're not in business as of this moment, okay, work with us, work with your banker, work with your CPA. This is the one pitfall you absolutely gotta stay away from, if nothing else. Okay. And I got buddies of mine who do accounts receivable financing and things like that. But again, that's uh, kind of a different subject for different capital needs, things like that. I'm talking about your mom and pop shops that are doing merchant card lending. Whether it's like a garage or a retail location or like a restaurant or something like that. These are, like I said, they feast on you guys. Okay, and it's gonna suck the life right out of you guys. So please, if nothing else, if you don't hear anything the rest of this show, stay away from merchant card lenders, because they're the worst thing in the world. Once you let them, get inside your business, it's like I say, they're vampires, just sucking on you. You know what I mean? And they're taking that money out all the time, and it's a really terrible way to go. You gotta you gotta kind of look at it in this kind of a fashion. I kind of like to look at it. Um, preparation of a really good meal. It's gonna take time, okay? And you need the right ingredients. You gotta take the time. You gotta prep. Like I say, you gotta prep your ingredients, whether you're chopping up the onions or the mushrooms or whatever it is that that you're gonna be making. Um, you gotta marinate your meat or you gotta prep it and stuff like that. These meals are gonna be more nutritious and they're gonna taste a whole lot better. You know what I mean? Now, granted, if you're eating fast food, okay, it can sustain you for a certain period of time. You do that long enough, it's gonna kill you. Okay? This really has the same thing to do with business. Okay, you shouldn't really be feeding your business financing. It's like fast food, merchant processing. Like I said, hard money deals. Anything that involves little to no paperwork and it's simple and it's easy. That's the fast food deal, and that's eventually your business is going to die. You keep going down this road because you don't want to fill out paperwork. And you don't want to take the time. I don't have time, and I don't want to fill out paperwork. And oh, it's such a hassle. Oh, SBA loans are so hard. They take so much time. Not if you do it right. Not if you're working with your banker. Not if you're working with your CPA. Okay. Yeah, it is going to take time. There is a process, but at the same time, it's going to sustain. It's not only going to set your business up right now in the meantime, but it's also the way to build a business over the long term as well. Healthy, strong access to capital. Again, like what a lot of people do when they start a business, they bootstrap it 100%. Again, they're Cortez, they burn the ships, they cash in their 401k, they spend all their savings, they max out their credit cards and everything like that, like I covered in episode one. You can't do that in business, okay? Take the time, learn the process, go through the process. It's not nearly as complicated as you think. And if you're working with a banker and a CPA, we could take a, like I said, we do a lot of that heavy lifting for you. But you're going to have to do your business plan. You're going to have to put that op order together, like we talked about, and you know do some research on the marketing and the market things like that. These things are going to also they get you to know your business at a different level too. So it's kind of like they said, kind of like that really good meal. The nutrition that's in that meal, the way because you're using fresher ingredients and things like that. Well, this is the way it helps grow your business too, because you're gonna know your business, you're gonna know your market deeper than you did before. Like you knew how to make your product and you know how to make your provide your service. But when you really start getting into the nuts and bolts of market, who your target markets are, and your market share when you're doing your op order or your business plan, that's another level of your business. Maybe you weren't as engaged in before, where it's going to get you more engaged, and it just makes your business that much more viable. It makes you understand your business at a different level, not just from the production side, but from the back shop side as well. Again, these are the preparation that I want to get you guys ready for, and the pitfalls that are really out there. Because it happens so often. So many of these debt consolidation levels, where guys and gals get neck deep into these merchant processes, and it's just ugly. I needed the cash fast. I needed to get this contract, or I needed to get these supplies so I can put the order out. But now you're in bed with these guys, and again, everybody's like, oh, SBA, it takes so long. Like 90 days is that long. If it takes that long, if you're doing the prep work and if you work with your CPA, you work with your banker, you get us the documents that we request in a timely fashion, it can go a lot faster. But a lot of it depends on you. You have to do the work. You have to do the prep. You know, and the longer you take to get us the docs that we're requesting, the longer the loan's going to take. People are always looking for, or they're looking for, a partnership. Now, I like what Dave Ramsey said about partnerships. The only ship that doesn't float is a partnership. Okay, you're gonna bring on a partner. Maybe they got some cash. You're the talent. They got the cash, and all that sounds great. But then again, you're doing all the heavy lifting. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Again, don't have the mixer board, so can't mute that out yet. But we're working on getting that tech coming. Um, Again, you get into this partnership. Oh, it sounds really good, and I got the cash. Okay, that's great. Well, I'll do this, and then you're working your ass off. They're quote unquote their partner. Like, hey, they put up the money. You got to do the work, and then you're basically working for them. Is that what you got in the business for? So you can go work for somebody else? That's not what you got in the business for. So, and again, partnership agreements, uh, operating agreements. We'll get into that in another segment. We'll get one of the attorneys on that I work with. We'll do interviews and get into how important that is. That's a different episode for a different time. But again, the only ship that doesn't float is a partnership. So if you guys aren't 50-50 on doing the work and doing the production, it's going to get ugly really fast. Or investors. Oh, I can go get an investor. Investor's great. Again, you're married to these guys for the rest of your life. You grow this thing into, Amazon. Guess what? They're getting rich off of you. Okay, and they haven't done a damn thing. They cut you a check, but what you realize that you could have possibly obtained, an SBA loan and not deal with these fools for the rest of your life, and then you get to do whatever you want because when you have an investor, they have a say. Oh, I want to do this. No, 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 no. I'm not comfortable with that. No. See, they have a say in what you do. Again, you're working for them, not the way you want to go. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to be your own boss. Okay, so partnerships and investors. Let's like I said, stay clear of those as best as we can. Again, you want to have a team. You want to have a team. You want to have team members, things like that. But when it comes to who's driving the ship, it should be you. Okay, don't be bringing on people for the convenience. Oh, they got a big checkbook. Okay, but again, are they gonna be the ones up working 14-hour days working? Now that's not in your operating agreement. They're not going to. So you're the one doing all the heavy lifting. They're sitting back collecting checks. I don't really know if that's the way that you want to go either. This is just, like I said, just some food for thought. This is like, say, if you're planning on getting ready to start a business, or even if you're already in business, you're seeing a shortage of capital. They could really use extra money for as far as you know working capital marketing, like with the other marketing campaign, or you got to get some product, get some inventory going, things like that. Again, SBA financing is a great way to go to obtain that capital. You don't have to break, your bank. You don't have to break your reserves to get there. And once you pay us off, we're gone. We're out of your life forever. There's no partner buyouts. There's no balloon payments. There's no nothing. We're just you. We have a loan. At the end of that term, you make all your payments. We're gone. See you later. You know, like I said, nobody has a partnership stake in your business. It's all yours. So again, I've run into this so many times in the 25 years I've been in this business. These merchant things are just vampire loans, and they just suck. And I hate, I was like, man, I wish I would have talked to you before you did this. I wish I would have. And that's what this podcast is for. Again, here's the deal. We're just coming at you real. We're coming at you raw. You know, um, we just want to give you the information, things that you can do to prep, things that you can do so that way you're not going down these paths and you're not going down these roads. Okay, to avoid these mistakes and it just like I said, avoid the stress and the drama and the possibilities of just things just going catastrophic. So if I can get this information to you so many times, like man, I wish I would have met you a couple months sooner. I could have saved you from all this. So here I am. Here's the deal. Um, is the podcast for not only for people looking to start a business, but even if you've already been in business for a while, you want to make it more efficient, you want to make it more streamlined, you want to run, uh, run it more proficiently. Like I said, please feel free to subscribe to the show. Uh, Please feel free to share it with your friends who who own a business or are looking to start a business. Or, like I said, everybody's working in a job that they can't stand. It's like, hey, why don't you start your own business? Come work with us over at Vebs and vets, helping vets out, getting this process started. So again, this is Chris Flowers, your host here at Here's the Deal, and we're gonna wrap the show up. And as I always wrap the show up, I just want to give thanks to God, who allows me this platform uh, here on Anchor to put this information out for my brothers and sisters out there of the DD214 to try to help them as best I can, share the knowledge that I have that he's imparted on me through my experience. Also want to thank, of course, my family, my wife, and my kids for supporting me in this endeavor as always. And as always, also got to thank my good buddy Mario and Crystal over there at Fallen 360 for helping me out with the podcast. And Mario and I are working together on stepping our game up, like Fallen 360, and getting to that level and beyond as well. So I want to give a shout out to everybody. So if you like what you're hearing, I just want to say thank you. Please feel free when you see it on social media, like it, comment, share it. Like it, comment, share it. That would be the best thing you can do for us. That way, people are getting this information. People are tuning into the show. Because excuse me, I'm going to have again subject matter experts like CPAs and attorneys and uh, people that are veterans that are already own their own businesses and are successful, and had doing interviews with them and things like that. So again, like it, share it. Like it, comment, share it. Like it, comment, share it. Please, that would be fantastic. I would appreciate you guys having my six, so that way I can go out there and have other veteran six. Again, this week's very important. Voting is essential. Please go out and do it. Thank you all for listening. I appreciate it. Appreciate any feedback you want to give me on the show. And if there's anything that we can do, you can send us an email, info@vetsforbiz.us.